Hi, welcome to my journey. Whew, deciding to get out here and get a little visual therapy because I ain't planning on getting out and out, and walking around unless, unless I'm so called to do so. All right. But right now I ain't called to do nothing like that, right? Even though it says it's 59 degrees out there, to me it feels colder than that. Okay? So, yeah. Hold on. Ooh, okay, I turned on the heat and my battery dropped 5 degrees. 5 degrees, 5 percentage points. Okay? Ooh, these guys they must got some relative staying with them. And the relative, I guess they want to be an entrepreneur, right? They got a truck. And they're always in their truck, right? Instead of being at home, he's out there parked in the driveway, right? I don't know. Maybe he's trying to manifest some work, something. Who knows? But yeah, I was watching this lady, right? And she was talking about her visit to Liberia. And we all interested in Liberia ever since Michael Jackson sang about the Liberian girl, right? So anyway, I'm listening to her. So she's saying that country is like 20 years behind the 20 years behind of other countries in Africa. So they're 40 years behind, honestly, right? And she's like saying that because of their diet, because of something, their spirituality. Come on now, come on. Get your ass back up in there. Right? Because of something. She can't really put her finger on it, but she can't understand how come it seems like the whole country doesn't have the capacity to learn and retain information. Right? They don't have the capacity to learn and retain information. Okay? So, she's like, I'm saying this out of love, right? And then she starts talking about how they can't do things right. Right? They cannot do things right because they don't have the capacity to learn and retain the information, so they can't do things right. Okay? So, granted, they may have the capacity to kind of get some of the job done, but they won't be able to get it done like one time, right? They're not the type of people that, just do it right the first time. And, no. These are the type of people who knows if they'll ever get it done right, right? And usually you have to cut them off. Like, you got to cut them off because you're not going to sit up here and have this fucking kind of relationship with somebody who just don't listen and can't get shit right. Who wants that? Nobody. All right? So anyway, after 8 months of being there in Liberia, trying to make it work, right? Trying really hard, out of love and understanding, she's like, damn, she's got to come back to America, right? But here's the problem. The problem is she comes back to America with the wrong mindset, right? She comes back to America with the mindset that she's getting back into the matrix. Yeah. So you are opening up a portal for yourself to get into a simulation that you don't like. Why would you do that? Right? You almost sound kind of like those people that you just left. You just don't see yourself as worse off as them, because you can go through a doorway and come to America. But then you come to America with a mindset that's going to destroy you. Right? What? I know you're like, what mindset? What mindset? The mindset of being in the matrix. Unless you're Neo. Unless you're Trinity. Right? Now, if you're Neo or Trinity, you know how to get in and get out of the matrix at will, whenever you want. Whenever you like. Whatever you like, you can make the matrix into what you want it to be. But like I said, most people, they don't come back and say that they're going to come back to America following Neo's lead, following Trinity's lead. They're not doing that. Okay? Some of them, they're not even a Morpheus. Right? And then they don't even know the other characters. I don't know the other characters. I'm not even interested in those other characters. Right? Besides Neo and Trinity, those other characters, I don't care shit about. Nada. Damn, I can't believe I got into a turn-only lane. I guess we'll be turning. Okay. So we're headed this way. So yeah. I'm telling you, my area is auto road. We got CarMax, we got Volkswagens, we got Nissan, and we got all of them over here. All of them are right here. And yet, they used to be, I don't know, maybe I'm out of that bracket of, but they used to be areas of employment, right? They used to be. I don't know how they're planning on operating now. Maybe they cut back the staff and hours or whatever, and they really are like, yeah, if anybody comes on the lot, they're going to buy a car or not buy a car. I don't know what they did. But they definitely don't get enough traffic to try to convince somebody to be out there on their lots, on commission alone, right? Hell no. It's just not getting that kind of traffic. Matter of fact, most people try to avoid it. try to avoid that traffic. Sure. Okay. So, dang. My battery lost damn near 20%. Just because I got the heat on. Let me turn this down some. Whew. And it's cold outside. Right? So now I'm even concerned that if it gets too cold, right, I might have to just start the car up to make sure that the battery doesn't die. Right? Keep the battery charged and charging. But, Liberia isn't the only one, right? Somalia, right? How long was Somalia under sanctions? I can't even remember how long they were under sanctions. India was under sanctions. Now Russia's under sanctions. Quiet as it's kept, Russia is under sanctions. The Russians, they are saying it. They're under sanctions, and a lot of stuff has been banned, right? When they got put under sanctions, then, they got real prideful and like, well, we don't want your shit no way. Okay. So, yeah. For some reason, I just got a real interest in cars. And they got a lot of cars just sitting around here. And here's the thing, though. Rather than bring the price down of these cars, because a lot of these cars are 5+ years old, and they won't bring the price down. They won't. And then my thought is, well, how are they how are they able to maintain their business, right? If they're not making any sales, if they're just, parking lots for vehicles, who's letting their loans slide? Who's giving them loan forgiveness? Right? Why are you giving them loan forgiveness without forcing them to bring down the price of their vehicles? Right? Just like if they want to say, well, you're going to get, public assistance. And so since you're getting public assistance, you're going to be required to work 80 hours, paid or unpaid. You can volunteer somewhere for 80 hours. Right? Here's the thing. Right? After you all went and got your bankruptcies, which, you probably won't be able to get another bankruptcy, but y'all, unless you change the law in your favor again, right? Y'all went and got your bankruptcies, then decided, well, before we allow people to file bankruptcy, they're going to have to go through credit repair counseling. Right? Why? Right? Why do you have to go through credit repair counseling when you already have late pays on all your accounts? Why? Oh, to make it to where, you gonna get some money out of that person one way or another. You're not gonna let them file bankruptcy like you did, right? So you file bankruptcy, then you put into law to force people to have pre-bankruptcy and post-bankruptcy counseling. So you're going to get money out of them one way or another. And we already know, shit, that's going to be anywhere from $250 to $500. Now, that's just the counseling. Then you got to pay for an attorney, right, to file your bankruptcy, right? And that's going to cost you a lot of money, even if you decide to do all of the paperwork yourself. Like, say you just pull all your credits, you pull all the forms, and you become your own, court reporter, right? You done made it to where, the attorney has to be the one that files, has to be the one that, makes the arrangements for all of the creditors, to become present, right? Because you even have mandated a call for your creditors to be present, or to at least meet with you before you'll write off the credit. Right? That's really very difficult. I mean, it's difficult. And if they don't show up, then what? It could be an automatic judgment in your favor that you'll go ahead and get the bankruptcy, because they'll say, shit, bankruptcy, let's pull their credit, let's do it. What do they call it? One of those, don't affect your credit, score, but they pull your credit and see that, they ain't gonna get no money out of you. Ain't no sense in showing up to court. So yeah, I do have my opinion about what they did. Now, that could make it a little bit more inconvenient for people who have money, right? That they're not just throwing money out there to and getting rid of their debt, that they do have to go through credit counseling. But to the people who don't have credit, who don't have money, they can't file bankruptcy because of the charges that are going to incur, because the counseling itself costs money, right? They're trying to scrape up the money just for the filing fees. And you even made it a criteria to say, no, it has to be within 6 months or 6 months of credit counseling. So you want to pay credit counselors 6 months to do what? to monitor your expenses? You're going to pay them to monitor your expenses? Right? And try to pay off, whatever, disposable income you have. You're going to have them, pay whatever debts that you can pay. Damn, my nose. So anyway, I don't know why I even talk about this shit. I really don't. But it's just disgusting. It's disgusting to see it. I'm so glad it's another day. My goodness, I'm so glad it's another day. Because people was feeling pretty hostile yesterday. Oh, they really was. The whole atmosphere felt hostile. Cold yesterday. I did not get out and walk. I did my mile on the treadmill in the house. I ate my hot pot rendition. Right? And it was good. It was really good. Right? I cooked up some of that shaved steak. And I also cooked up some big ass prawns. And put some vegetables in there, boiled it. Then added some top ramen. It was so good. It was so, so good. It was extra filling, right? But that's okay. I had all day to eat it. And I did. I don't know if I'm going to make it again today. I might make it again. Over here, that's new. Okay. A DTLR, your fashion, your lifestyle. What? Okay. Shout out to the guy who watched my video and told me that my car needed to be warmed up. I tried to reply back to him and tell him I have an electrical car. What he heard was not the engine. What he heard was my heavy ass cars, torturing the tires. electrical cars are really heavy. You don't even hardly hear the engine. You don't hear no engine on an electrical car, but you will hear road noise. And that's what he heard. He heard road noise. I tried to tell him that, but I entered it in twice and it didn't stay. I'm like, what's going on here? Right? So, just in case he's watching my other videos, and the video that he watched was and commented on was the one I was having a lot of hard time downloading. I rarely get people who comment directly onto my channel. I know they watch me because it shows on the algorithm that they watch. Oh my gosh, the sun is trying to come through. Come through, sun. I mean, who cares if it's snowing up north? Come through, sun. You can come through. But we're not going to get no snow down here because we're steady. We're steady at 59 and 60 degrees until it gets dark. We ain't gonna get the snow. Nope. So another thing that I'm having problems with is downloading my documents, right, for my medical. So I'm gonna have to call them because I tried to download my documents, oh my gosh, all night, 2 days already, and I'm just like, what's going on here? Right? Because they're like, well, if you download your documents, you should get like a green check mark. So I think I might have to turn somewhere here. I'm going to have to turn somewhere here because these people around here, they got 3 and 4 lane traffic. So this is not the type of traffic I wanted to even get in. I did not want to get into this. ABC Beauty Academy. Telling you, people will run you off the road. They will run you off the road. You know, because you're in their way. They will run your ass off the road. And I was just tripping. I was watching Sanction Ivan because I got him on my feed, and I might as well listen to his whole story. But he says what they do over there in Thailand when there ain't no parking spaces is they double park, triple park, and just leave the car in neutral. And I'm like, what? You leave the car in neutral? Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, they leave the car in neutral. People got to get out and push that car out of the way. I'm like, that's crazy. And he's like, no, but that works. I'm like, that's crazy. Right? And he's like, well, yeah, sometimes it is kind of crazy if they can't put brakes on your car and your car ends up, hitting another car. I'm like, that's crazy. So, I don't know. I don't know what the patriarch is going to do because these guys is just out of hand. You cannot blame the women, right? You can't undermine the authority of the woman, right? And then try to hold her to be responsible for children that you've allowed these men to triangulate against a woman. That's just insanity. Like, for real. Insanity for real. Right? And so that's one of the things that I have posted on my Facebook. Is like, oh, okay, so you're going to create a protective class of men who act feminine, but you're not going to make women a protected class. Ooh, that looks like my car riding down the street with all that smoke lingering. But I'm telling you, if you got to get somewhere, you're going to get into that smoking car. And back in my day, they used to have quite a lot of smoking vehicles riding down the street. You rarely have that nowadays because of the regulations that they have in place. Where your vehicle has to be inspected yearly, right? And that usually involves it's safe to drive and it passes the emissions. Okay. So yeah, we riding through Chinatown in Garland, because Garland has a Chinatown. We're just riding through it a little bit today. And it's been kind of taken over by the Mexicans, because this whole area used to have Chinese signatures on it, but now it's got Mexican. But let's keep it real. A lot of Chinese speak Spanish, especially like Thailand and Japan. They do speak Spanish. I don't know if it's as their like second language, right? As their international language, right? Those are the three international languages: Spanish, English, and French. Those are the international languages. Why are they the international languages? Because those countries would try to come along there and dominate. One of those three superpowers come along and they try to dominate. Okay? Let me get off it. So yeah, sometimes when you're going through, your community and you're watching, these businesses drop off, right? Like drive time. Drive time in my neighborhood is gone. They used to be right over there, right? They're gone. Right? So that's another thing, when I say, it helps you to keep in touch with reality, right? Because that was one of the things that I remember when we went through the pandemic, right? When we went through the pandemic, places, people, businesses that you thought was there, when you came back outside, they weren't there anymore. They were gone. And so it happened so fast. It might take a whole year to be established, but when they have to go fast. It happens real fast, right? It's like overnight. It seems like they're all boarded up. And out of business. She's out here riding her bicycle, and she acts like it's warm out here with her tank top on. 59-degree weather. Right? Just like Denny's. Denny's went out of business. Yes, they did. Oh, and daycares. I've seen a couple of daycares that went out of business. Now, Pit Boys, the store part of Pit Boys, they went out of business. Now the repair part, they're still open under Pit Boys. I'm like, how is that? Well, they're just not a store anymore. They no longer have the store part. They just, I guess, have mechanics that are still willing to go to work under the Pit Boys brand. Right? So that's something, if you're not aware, right, you will sit up here and think, oh my gosh, you're going to go to Pit Boys and buy, I don't know, some auto supplies. And then you go down there and they're like, nope, they're not offering any more supplies. Right? You're like, well, what are you offering? They just do repairs and maybe a few tires that they have in stock. Right? And you remember last time, they had shut down, when I told you they shut down the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles in our neighborhood. They shut that down. Right? They sure did. I might have to come out and wash some clothes. But I think I'm going to wash clothes somewhere else. Yeah, DMV's gone. Department of Motor Vehicle, Texas Department of Public Safety is what it's called. So that would be TDPS. Driver's License Center is gone. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go get me some more nasal mist because the inhalator is not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I'm going to have to go by there and see if I can get me some. It would be nice if they had some doggy bones there because I'm almost out of doggy bones. But I'm thinking I might have to order some doggy bones again online. Or go to Walmart and get some doggy bones. Some milk bones. Or, really take that effort to try to make them. It cannot be that hard to make some doggy bones. Some doggy biscuits. Stale ass biscuits. But I don't know. I'm not gonna go because I have to go to the restroom. So I'm not gonna go. But we did get out. And I know I've been out driving for at least an hour. Riding around. Right? The 99-cent store is gone. Even the bank. I think the bank is only, you can't even go inside the bank anymore. Right? T-Mobile, they're gone. It's been replaced by an accident and injury pain center. Verizon is gone. It's been replaced by Amana Healthcare. Oh, all of these people are gone here. All of them, including that beauty supply. Wow. Because that beauty supply was hanging on in there for the longest. That beauty store, not beauty supply store, that beauty salon. It was a salon. I remember I went up in there and I told him, I said, can you guys do my hair? And they were like, no, we cannot. We only do Hispanic hair. I was like, what? What? Okay. At least thank you for telling me. But I don't know. I think I have Hispanic hair. Right? hair that's kind of straight but curly and kinky. I told him, I said, I really did. I thought y'all would be able to do my hair a lot better than some of these other people who think they know how to do my hair but don't know how to do my hair. Right? Because to them, if they see yaki hair, they automatically assume that yaki hair is thick. But yaki hair can also be thin. I'm not worried about it though. As long as they keep making cheap wigs, I ain't gonna worry about it.